Hey everybody, Jeff Marr from Elizabeth School District, and joining me is David Fletcher. David is new to the Elizabeth School District Board of Directors. He is filling the seat of Heather Booth. And David, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So in January, you saw me do interviews with some of our board members for Board Appreciation Month, and we got to know them a little bit better. We want to do the same with David as the incoming board member. And let's talk about your background. You spent a lot of time serving with the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, I have a long history with them. I retired in 2018 after serving for 20 years there. It was I started out I graduated college from Mississippi State University and then went into the Navy. So it wasn't kind of a lot of people were like, oh, what, did you get your did you get your degree while you're in the Navy? But that wasn't me. I got my degree and then went into the Navy after that. And it was, I started out as a flight student and then quickly realized that wasn't going to work out. And I was able to roll into surface warfare. I drove ships for a number of years. And then I transferred from there into intelligence, where I finished the 17 years of my career. So yeah, it was, I was a officer, obviously, and I led, at any one time, I had anywhere from 10 to hundreds of people working for me. So I have a lot of leadership experience, and a lot of people that I was able to mentor along the way and be mentored by. I always gave a thanks to my first chief in the Navy, who really, as a brand new ensign, helped me to understand like how to do things. So yeah, it was good. We retired out here in 2018, and where I took a job. I went to school for engineering, and during a number of my tours in the Navy, I actually ended up building some of the Navy systems that are deployed on ships right now. So that was kind of what I retired out here to do. So I work as an engineer for a firm that, and we do work for the government building space systems, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Where I'm the lead engineer there for the program, and I work with some people. I have a lot of people who work for me that are probably far smarter than I am.
Yeah.
And they've been doing this job for a long time, and they always, you walk into a room and you're come out of the military as an officer, like everybody just assumes you're the man and you can just lead, and it's fun to lead such a disparate group. But yeah, I have a lot of really smart people I get to work with every day.
Well, the military certainly trains you to help lead a team and strategize and look for threats and a little bit of everything. And so you live in Elbert County.
Yep.
You have a daughter who is a sophomore at Elizabeth High School.
Yep.
And so you've been connected in that way to Elizabeth School District since her time here, and she's been at our school since middle school, right?
Yeah, and that's what, when we first moved here, we were finishing up homeschooling our oldest two, I'm sorry, and because we moved around a lot, it was easier just to homeschool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you move in every 2 or 3 years, so that worked out really well for us. But when we got here, it was nice. We could just put our daughter in school, and she was able to kind of start establishing friends and getting to know people, and we were involved with them at that school. And I think as so we retired in 2018, and then as COVID kind of kicked off, and I started seeing some things going around the country, with school boards, and it really concerned me what could be. So what's going on down at our school board? And so started coming to these school board meetings, and I was overjoyed. These people who are the current school members, they really love these kids, and I've enjoyed supporting them.
Yeah.
And just even if it's just moral support, and they really are good people, and they really do love these kids. So yeah, when they came to me and said, hey, would you think about letting us appoint you to fill Heather Boosie, I was like, sign me up, let me help.
Yeah. And so your route that you're on right now sounds similar to Mary and Rhonda, because when I was interviewing them, it was the same deal, that they wanted to get involved. They started attending the board meetings. They started doing public comment when they had the opportunity to do that. And then now they're board members too. So yeah, you really never know where it's going to take you, but it seems like you have a good understanding of what the expectation is once you are a board member here. Yeah. And the challenge, of course, is juggling that with a full-time job, which you have, right? Yeah. So, and there's always not enough hours in a day.
Well, it won't be the first time. When I was getting my master's degree, I was at a 4-star command in Norfolk, and that was tough. It was tough. Mm-hmm. My wife's don't you hear those kids crying? And I'm just like banging away at the keyboard and trying to get my paper written. And I'm like, what kids?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, trying to hold down a demanding job plus, extracurriculars, I'm really no stranger to.
So you can multitask. The Navy helped prep you for that. Has your daughter had a good experience at the high school?
She has. She started out at Legacy, and she in middle school, and then moved over to the high school, and she likes it over there. She likes a lot of her teachers, and how can I help? This country has a problem in reading and math.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The scores repeatedly, year after year, show that we are not doing well. Mm-hmm. And I think this school district is doing well with what they had. I'd like to help give them more.
Right.
Help give them the tools they need to be successful. And it's because it's not always just about the academics. There's is our school secure? I think all our schools across America should be fortresses. Mm-hmm. The moat, the drawbridge goes down to let kids in, goes up and then comes back down.
Right.
And I feel that this school district has done a lot of really good things to help make our children secure, so that they don't have to worry about. I was just talking to my aunt, a cousin of mine, her child. They had a school shooting in Nashville just down the street from where he was scared to go to school. Mm-hmm. I don't want any of our kids to ever feel like that.
When you and I went to school, we never felt that way.
Well, and I went to school in inner city schools.
Right.
So we walked through the metal detectors to go in.
Yeah.
There were armed guards in there.
Yeah.
But I never felt as a teenager or as a child that it was unsafe. Mm-hmm. Fights would break out or whatever, but I still felt safe when I was in school.
Right.
And I grew up not a good childhood. Let's just put it that way. I left home when I was 14. Mm-hmm. The school for me was a refuge. It was a place where I did feel safe, and I could go and I knew that an education was going to lift me out of that poverty that we were in.
My heart really goes out to those students who did not grow up with ideal household or two parents that support them in a normal way, and they still find a way to succeed and find a way to push through. So hats off to you for being able to do that. I know that it's way back when that happened, but it helps build your character and who you are. And so we always look for those opportunities as well here at our school district, because we know that for a lot of our students, it's a place of refuge as well. and
Yeah.
so you want to make sure that the students are being taught in the right way, and that it's a place of comfort for them, and an escape where they can learn and pursue their dreams.
And if they want to, that they can pursue that dream, that they can, that there's someone in that classroom every day that is encouraging them to move forward, to become a good citizen, to lay hold of the American dream, whatever that is. That, because I literally, if we could do an entire interview on my, I went to 4 7th grades just because we moved around so much. So I can tell you a lot about it, but
and 7th grade is hard enough as it is, let alone having to move around 4 times.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
So it's kind of crazy, but these kids, we are. I don't think that American schools are really that they're really trying hard to make sure that these kids have the future that you and I had.
Right.
That we knew every day while we were sitting in class, learning whatever it was.
Yeah.
That we knew that if we worked hard, that we could one day be president of the United States. J.D. Vance, that guy just walked into the president's office for the first time, and he's there. Right. He is. He also comes from nothing, and here he is in the White House, amazing. So that's what education does.
And you'd mentioned the reading scores, and that's why our school district has this reading initiative that we recently launched, is to improve those scores long term, because Elizabeth School District is above the state average, but it's still at a level where there's plenty of room for improvement. Absolutely. You also mentioned the armed staff. It's our belief that we are the only school district in the state that has armed security at all levels, including elementary.
That's criminal.
So we have it at all of our schools.
Yeah, with how much violence there is that's happening to our most precious resources is our children. They're so precious to us, and yet we don't protect them like we should. It should just be a non-starter. That only thing that stops a guy with a gun is a guy with another gun, and you have to put that person there to protect these children that are most precious to us.
Right. So you mentioned the reading, the security aspect. Do you have any other initiatives or things that you want to look at as a new incoming board member?
Yeah, math. Obviously, I'm an engineer,
electrical
engineering. So I believe I took my oldest daughter all the way through calculus as a homeschooler. I believe everything that we see around us, is impossible without math. In a technological society, we can't have any of this, and I believe that every child can do math. I've taught math at the high school level for a little while I was between college and the Navy, and those kids, if you can explain it, they will get it. But you have to actively participate in their learning. You can't let up for the entire hour that you have them. You teach it. You show it to them. You bring them to the board. You make them do it. Peer pressure is a wonderful thing. They don't want to look bad in front of their peers, and so you can. I believe that every student in America can learn math. Now, I'm not saying that every kid is going to go take differential equations in college. But we need a society that understands math and where it's going. They want people with, they're like, we're going to have all this artificial intelligence. We're going to have all this technology, all these autonomous systems and everything. And so, everybody that's working, a more, blue collar job is just going to transition into fixing robots. And you're like, not if they can't do math. If they can't do math, they can't transition to this other job. So I really feel that we should be, our kids I feel they can learn math, and I feel if you put the right instruction in front of them. So I really want to focus on that. I want to focus on raising the bar. Our kids should be taking physics in high school. They should be at that level where they can just take a physics course, and all of them, because it's not that hard. Right. I did it, and I'm not that smart.
And for me in algebra, it was like this. Yeah, every single thing was over my head. But again, it comes down to the teacher and how it's presented to me. Yeah. I just didn't get it because it wasn't, in my opinion, presented that well. Yeah. And I wasn't put to the test, like you said, of getting up there and doing it. Yeah,
you give these kids, every day when I taught math, we would start the class off with a quiz. And I would sit in the teacher's lounge during my off period, and I would come up with a new quiz every day. Yeah. And it was just and I'd have a circuit diagram there, and here's the system of equations, and then and then they would have to solve the system of equations because they knew how to do that part. Right. I had already solved the hard part for them, and they just had to finish it. And those kids, I really feel like in just that short time I was there, that all of them went from, I had kids in algebra that didn't know how to do fractions. Mm-hmm. That's criminal. Mm-hmm. That's criminal. You shouldn't leave elementary school without knowing how to do fractions. Right. Yeah. and here they are in algebra, and I couldn't abide that. And so we focused in on the things that I felt they absolutely, as citizens, needed to know. Every citizen needs to know how to do fractions.
Right. So, I agree. I have some catching up to do in that arena, FYI. And I think our math teachers would appreciate having you as a guest speaker too. To come in and motivate the kids.
Happily. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that as we're recording this, we're recording it on a meeting night. So there's a board meeting that's actually about to start. There's probably people waiting outside the door to get in. So I'm gonna let you get prepped for that.
Okay, absolutely.
But thank you for talking to us, and congratulations on the appointment.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate the board giving me the opportunity to just help them out.
Absolutely. All right, and be sure to follow us on social media and on our website as well, elizabethschooldistrict.org, and we will see you next time.